For this card, I'm going to use two of the stamp sets. I've got the Fabulous Feather Wreath and Sentiment stamps and the Fabulous Feathers feather stamps. So they both coordinate really beautifully. As you can see, this one has the smaller wreath with the larger feathers and this one vice versa. Each has different sentiments. So I'm going to use the sentiment from this one and then use the large feathers from this one. When your stamps are brand new, they'll have a slight coating on them just from the manufacturing process. So you can take an eraser, a rubber, whatever you want to call it, and just take the coating off there. Make sure there's no residue on there from the eraser afterwards. And that's good to stamp there without any resistance of the ink. So I'm using VersaFine and I'm going to use a black so it's really striking and it shows up really well then against my feathers. And I'm not going to put this in the center, I'm going to put it up off center slightly. I'm putting my sentiment down first so I can work the rest of my stamping around it. Pressing down to make sure there's pressure over the entire stamp. There we go. Those we loved are never more than a thought away. So now I'm going to use my feathers and I'm going to take a medium-sized one first of all, and I'll probably, to be honest, I'll probably use this for most of the stamping. I don't really need to use more than one size for this technique. I've got 4 ink pads here. They are Distress Oxides. They're all in the pale pastel sort of colours. The grey one, the Weathered Wood, is probably the darkest one, the bluey grey colour. So I'm going to do this one first and then put the pastels over the top. So I'm not too worried about this being perfect stamping either because I'm going to do lots of layering. So starting with this grey, and I'm going off the edge of the card there. So like I say, these are very pale colours, and I'm going to work my way around the sentiment, stamping and leaving that area clear so we can still see it, making sure I've got even application of the grey, and then I'll move on and work my way through the rest of the colours as well. Just each time I'm going slightly off the card like so, and then without cleaning my stamp because most of the ink is on the card anyway, I'll just move along to the next colour. And then my last colour is a yellow. This is a little bit darker than the peach colour and the lilac. So I'm not going to use too much of this. I'm going to keep it more to the edge. Just to finish this card off, I'm going to add a little bit of the blue-grey colour around the very, very edges, and that will just help to frame the card. So I'm just going to do this by brushing rather than using a foam applicator. I'm just brushing gentle strokes inwards, and that just gives you, like I say, this frame to border the card and makes it look complete. So there we can see we've got the different shades of all the feathers, from the very pale pinky purpley ones down to the dark grey ones. So scattering of feathers all the way around a pretty sentiment.